In a small, quiet town nestled between rolling hills, lived a woman named Ilara. She had always been known for her unwavering compassion, someone who would give her time, heart, and energy to anyone in need. People often said she had the hands of a healer, but Ilara knew it was more than just her hands. It was her spirit, rooted in empathy and a deep sense of integrity. Ilara ran a modest community clinic, a place where anyone could come, no matter their background or financial status. The clinic was a safe haven for those who had fallen through the cracks of society, single mothers struggling to feed their children, elderly individuals abandoned by their families, and those battling addiction or mental illness, often ignored by the rest of the world. Ilara welcomed them all with open arms. One rainy afternoon, a man named Thomas arrived at the clinic's doorstep. He was in his late 30s, disheveled and weary, carrying the weight of countless sleepless nights and a face etched with silent suffering. Ilara noticed him immediately as she stepped out of her office. There was something familiar in his eyes, a look of someone who had lost everything. I don't have much, and I don't know where else to go," he stammered. Ilara smiled softly. "You've come to the right place. Here we help people get back on their feet. Come in, rest. We'll figure this out together." Over the next few weeks, Ilara learned Thomas's story. He had once been a successful lawyer, living a comfortable life with his wife and daughter. But when a string of unfortunate events occurred, his wife's sudden illness, mounting hospital bills, and eventually his law firm's collapse, Thomas spiraled into depression. His daughter was sent to live with relatives, and he had been living on the streets ever since. Ilara's heart ached for him, but more than that, she was determined to help him find hope again. She spent hours talking to him, not just as a patient, but as a friend. She reminded him of his worth, encouraging him to reconnect with his daughter, who had been his source of joy before his life fell apart. One evening, Ilara invited Thomas to help at the clinic. She believed that when someone is lost, giving them a purpose can be a powerful step towards healing. Slowly, as Thomas interacted with others at the clinic, his sense of self-worth began to return. He wasn't just receiving help, he was giving it. His transformation was gradual, but each day he seemed a little stronger, a little more sure of himself. It wasn't easy. There were moments when Thomas wanted to give up, moments when the guilt of losing his family weighed heavily on him. But through Ilara's constant encouragement and her unwavering belief in him, Thomas began to rebuild his life. Months passed and Thomas was a changed man. He found work as a legal advisor for a local charity organization, helping those who were also struggling to navigate the complexities of the system. He reconnected with his daughter, who had missed him dearly. The reunion was bittersweet, but it was the beginning of a new chapter. One evening, as the sun set over the hills, Thomas approached Ilara, gratitude evident in his eyes. "You didn't just save me," he said quietly. "You gave me a second chance at life. How can I ever repay you?" Ilara smiled warmly. "By helping others, Thomas. We all walk through difficult times, but it's in those moments that we have the opportunity to show compassion, to lift others as we climb. That's all I ask." At that moment, Thomas realized the depth of Ilara's mission. It wasn't just about providing care. It was about building a community where everyone, no matter their past, had a place. A community where compassion, integrity, and ethics weren't just words, but values lived out each day. Inspired by Ilara's dedication, Thomas proposed an idea. Together, they created a new program at the clinic, a support group for people who had lost their way, just as he had. They called it the Bridge of Compassion, a place where those who were struggling could come to find not only medical help, but emotional and psychological support as well. It became a space where people shared their stories, offered advice, and provided the kind of empathy that only someone who had been through a similar experience could offer. The group grew quickly. Word spread, and soon others who had once felt abandoned or alone found solace within the walls of the clinic. People who had once been patients, like Thomas, became mentors and volunteers. The clinic wasn't just a place of healing for the body anymore. It was a sanctuary for the soul. Ilara's small clinic had become a beacon of hope for the entire town and beyond. The lesson was simple but profound. Compassion has the power to heal, not just physically, but emotionally. When we care for others with integrity, we create ripples that can change lives. In the end, the Bridge of Compassion became more than just a program. It became a movement, a reminder that no matter how lost we feel, There is always someone willing to walk beside us, to lift us up when we've fallen, and to help us find our way back to the light. And in doing so, we too become healers in our own right, building a community where kindness, integrity, and care for one another are the guiding principles. Through her quiet compassion, Alara had not only saved lives, but had created a legacy of hope that would continue long after she was gone.